Hello to all of you. I hope you had an awesome first day at the DevDays. FHIR is used around the world and also in our small country Switzerland, we have some FHIR activities which I would like to introduce to you in the next few minutes. My name is Michaela Ziegler and I work as an e-health solution consultant at Audis. We work as FHIR consultants and are involved in topics related to the Swiss electronic patient record. As an active member of HL7 Switzerland, I am also involved in the FHIR working group. In my daily work, I take part in national and local FHIR projects. Today, I would like to give you a short insight into 3 selected national FHIR activities in Switzerland: the Swiss core profiles and its specialities in the context of the Swiss EPR, the Emedication exchange formats, and the national extension to the IHE FHIR-based mobile profiles PMIR and MHD. CH-Core is an implementation guide to support the use of FHIR in the Swiss context. This IG contains the requirements that are specific to Switzerland, especially related to the Swiss electronic patient record. Furthermore, the data elements from the document standard CDA-CH are defined and the variables for Swiss medical statistics are integrated. Let's have a look at a few examples from the IG. One subject that concerns each country is the representation of the specific identifiers. We have integrated our national requirements for this in the CH core profiles. Here, we see 4 different identifiers that an organization in Switzerland can have. The identifiers for the resources practitioner, patient, and encounter are also defined. In addition to the HL7 standard, there are other Swiss standards that are integrated in the core profiles. Here, for example, the mapping of the personal data requirements defined by ECH for the electronic communication between different organizations. Where necessary, there are extensions to represent the Swiss concept. For the EPR, the exchange formats are specified according to the document standard CDA. CH-Core defines the equivalent concepts to CDA-CH so that in the future, derived exchange formats can be represented and mapped between FHIR and CDA. The metadata for the EPR documents are defined by the Ministry of Health and are represented in the separate implementation guide CH EPR term. CH Core derives from this IG and thus these metadata can be used in the FHIR documents. Shown here is the value set for the Swiss confidentiality codes. In addition to the English display values, there are always translations into all 4 national languages. Yes, heard correctly, 1 little country and 4 languages. Through the joint work of the Swiss FHIR implementers community, HL7 Switzerland and eHealth Swiss, the first standard for trial use has been created. This spring, the SU version 1 went successfully through a ballot process by HL7 Switzerland. This process ensures that feedback from implementers of FHIR system producers is taken into account from the beginning and that the content of this guide can be improved. There was also a lot of input for other aspects, and we are already working on the SU version 2. The second FHIR activity I present is the work around Emedication. The implementation guide CH Emed is based on CH Core and defines the documents for the exchange of medication information in the context of the Swiss EPR. These 6 documents were defined for e-medication in Switzerland. At present, the medication card document is in the focus of attention. It describes the current medication of a patient, medications that have been, is, or will be taken by the patient. The documentation of current medication is one of the most frequently requested use cases and should therefore be included in the Swiss regulation as the first e-medication exchange format from next year on. The content of this document was tested this year at the EPR projectathon, a test event where IT systems can be tested against the EPR reference environment. The e-medication documents are based on the IHE form profiles shown on the right. On the left, we see the equivalent FHIR representations to the CDA documents shown in the middle. Each FHIR document corresponds to a CDA document. The data elements from both worlds, FHIR and CDA, are illustrated here in simplified form. The information remains the same, only the structure is different. Since the equal information is present, a document can be mapped from one standard to another. The CDA FHIR mapping with the FHIR mapping language is another FHIR activity, but I will not go into this in detail here. Oliver, my colleague, will be happy to show you how such a mapping works here at the FHIR DevDays on Wednesday and Thursday at 4:15. As the last FHIR activity, I would like to introduce the implementation guide CH-EPR mHealth. This IG contains national extensions of the integration profiles PMIR and MHD. This guide with national extensions of IHE integration profiles was authored in order to fulfill the Swiss regulations of the ordinance on the EPR. The aim of these national extensions is to ease the integration of mobile applications to the EPR. The extensions to the profiles are intended for mobile applications running on mobile devices, but not limited to them. There are international efforts around the integration profiles. We harmonize our work and also try to make a contribution from our side. The scope of the national mHealth extensions covers the following use cases. First, user authentication and authorization. Then, read and write documents from and to the EPR. And final, write the logs to the audit repository. This figure shows the profiles, actors, and transactions specified or referenced in the national extensions. The implementation guide currently defines the colored transactions. Yellow are those of the PMIR profile regarding the identity of the patient. Blue are those of the MHD profile concerning the reading and writing of documents from and to the EPR. There are, of course, other FHIR activities in Switzerland. If you are further interested, please have a look at FHIR.ch. There, you will find an overview of implementation guides known to HL7 Switzerland. Also, all IGs I just told you about are linked there. In the Q&A part afterwards, I look really forward to questions and inputs from your side. If you have any questions later, please do not hesitate to contact me in Huva or by email. And as I said at the beginning, FHIR is used around the world. And as you have seen, there are also some FHIR activities going on in Switzerland. Even our coffee is on FHIR. It still needs to be perfected, but who knows, maybe next time there will be a session, FHIR Latte Art, in the track Fixed with FHIR. Anyway, thank you very much for your interest and keep enjoying the DevDays.
Thank you, Michaela. We will now proceed to the Q&A. Please make sure to type your questions into the question box in the control panel of Huva. Okay, at the moment we still haven't got any questions.
May I can add something from do's and don'ts, especially the do's. We are. It's very helpful that we are doing an iterative development of the different profiles, and we every 3 weeks we meet us in a FHIR working group and works on open topics. And as I mentioned, a ballot process was done during this spring. And during this process, the participants have once again worked more intensively on the specification. And as a result, we could improve what we made and did an final publication of the implementation guide CH Core. That's very helpful, this iterative work.
Okay, it seems like you've sort of covered everything. We haven't got any questions yet. They might come later on today.
Yeah, do not hesitate and ask in Hoover, and I will give an answer later.
Yeah. Okay, yes, we have a first question. Yeah. Can you speak about the real-world implementations? Are there APIs available for developers to use?
At the moment, it's a specification about the content of the documents related to the EPR, for example. And it's not yet an API specification. This will become in a future iteration. In this process of the balloting, there are some IT systems, they check and they are using these profiles, but it's like a separated work process. These specifications we do with HL7 Switzerland, and then the implementers will do it in their own IT systems, but we are then checking at for example, at the projectathon, as I said, it's like a mini connectathon just in the context of the Swiss electronic patient record.
Okay, thanks. No, still no questions arrived. Just let's.
It was a long day, May.
Yeah, true. Yeah, still nothing. Yeah, your colleague is presenting also a session. When is that?
Oliver is doing 2 sessions. The first one will be more the background of this mapping between CDA and FHIR with the FHIR mapping language. It will be tomorrow afternoon, and on Thursday afternoon will be the Let's Build session, and then you can try to map something between FHIR and CDA and back. So join him, and his both sessions will be very interesting, I guess.
Okay, super. Thanks for that update.
It's on both days at 4:15. Yeah.
Okay, still no questions arriving. I think you covered a lot during your presentation. Okay, still nothing arrived yet.
If there are no further questions from the audience, then we can we'll end this session a little early. But we would like to thank you very much, Michaela, for your presentation. And again, if anybody has any questions to ask, if they watch this later or think of something, please enter them in the Whova chat box and Michaela will answer them for you.
Yes. Thanks for joining the last session for today, and we'll see you at wrap up and hangout following.
Right. Yeah, thank you everyone for attending. We hope you found the session useful and informative. And we'd like to know your impression of the presentation, and we would like you if you would rate this presentation in the Whova app. And please note that all the Q&As will remain in the Q&A box, and Michaela will answer them via the Q&A feature in Whova later on today, or when she's got an answer for you. Thanks again for joining us, and we will see you next time.